We're live. But how do I turn out the chat? Chat. Okay, I have no idea if this is going to work or not. There's nobody even talking. Nobody here. Anyway, so basically, Josh and I just had a really nice little session. Josh recorded his first YouTube video, so he'll get that, and you guys got to check that out sometime soon. And I want to argue with Josh because it's fun for the most part.
You just like to argue.
I do just like to argue.
You need to be a debater.
I know. Anyway, so yesterday, I don't know if whoever watched, who was it? Jump Street. Did you watch Jump Street?
The skate?
Yeah, the skate episode.
I'm about halfway through. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay, did you see the part where Billy went off on a tangent about natural switch, unnatural?
I think they were just getting started, so I did not get the full story, at least his full side of the story.
Okay, so basically Billy went off on a tangent about skateboard tricks and us using skateboard terms and things like that, and how we shouldn't use skateboard terms. It should just be, we're rollerblading, so we should only be rollerblading. And basically he went off and just kind of he got real emotional about it. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But so he was saying that switch isn't a thing, it should be called unnatural. But I'm of the belief that in rollerblading there's no such thing as switch, like at all. And the only reason or time that I'll ever use the term switch is just out of habit from when I was younger. But in my belief, not having switch or saying switch is just kind of debilitating, because you have left foot and you have your right foot. That's the way I think about it. So it's like I can do a left foot sole and I suck at doing a right foot sole. Does that make sense?
So you're using the term suck because you're not as good with it?
Correct.
Versus the fact that it is an unnatural and or switch trick.
Yes, and the reason for that, at least in my idea, the reason for that comes down to so here we go. So the way that I do tricks, I have my sole foot. Okay, my sole foot, if I'm doing a sole, is my left foot. What's up, D-Harp? If I do a Mizu, my sole foot's my right foot. If I do an acid sole, my sole foot's my right foot. If I do a top sole, my sole foot's my left foot. If I do a top acid, my sole foot's my left foot.
But if you
so,
you reverse those, you can't do them.
Well,
so if you reverse the foot,
I'm not very good.
Okay, but well, the point I'm getting at is that, so I am of the mindset that just like in any other sport, like basketball, baseball, you throw with a certain arm, you catch with a certain arm. There's certain ways that you'll play the
but
sport.
if you're playing basketball, you're not saying I'm switch shooting.
No. But my point is that you in this instance, you're using your feet, using a body part that you're more comfortable with, whether that's better balance points on that foot, whether you're able to manipulate your ankle better to get into the trick on that foot. So I do think that there is an unnatural way to do specific tricks, because you are going to be prone to go to that foot that you can stand on it, one foot by itself, versus the other foot, yeah, you can do it, but it doesn't feel as good.
Yeah, but it all becomes very convoluted. So it's like, if I'm doing, if I'm doing a Royale, okay, I do a Royale, and the only reason I do a Royale with my back foot being the, I would say your dominant foot, okay, so that would make it my left. I do them when I turn to the left. And that's because I naturally turn to the left. I can do a Royale, and my right foot is the one I kick with or anything like that. It's my dominant foot. But I turn left. So all my tricks that I learned, I turn left. I'm not very good at spinning right or turning to the right. That feels unnatural. So that's why it becomes switch versus unnatural. If you were to think about it in terms of left foot, right foot, you could start to negate some of the ridiculousness of thought.
Well, okay, so I can understand, like, well, okay, everyone learns a trick generally on one foot, correct? Can we agree that generally when you're learning a trick, you started on one foot?
Hold on, D-Hub wants to know what we're debating. So we're debating switch versus... I think that there's no such thing as switch. And Josh says that there is such thing as switch. And the whole world I know says that there's such thing as switch. But I know that Clark will agree with me when it comes to there's no such thing as switch. So at least I have one person in my corner on that.
But okay, so going off of Clark, I believe Clark wants to get the point across that you should be able to do a trick with both feet. I don't know if he necessarily is 100% against the fact that one might feel more natural versus the other one, which would feel unnatural. But it's doing both. It's doing the trick on both feet, right? Like, and Clark could obviously say, "No, Josh, shut up. You're an idiot. That's not what I'm saying." But like, I feel like he's more like, get that trick both ways, so you can do it both ways, and that way it opens up your trick vocabulary of what rails, ledges, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But I don't know if he's against the idea of one that you're more comfortable with, which would be natural, versus the one you're not as comfortable with, which would be switched.
Correct, and I agree with you there. And and I guess my main thing about this comes down to, because so many people, and I know I'm not the only one. Press 1 if I don't know. I only have 2 people in the chat, so I don't really care. Comment below if you're watching this later. If you do a trick, one trick, soul trick with your left foot and one soul trick with your right foot. So, i.e., for me, I do soul trick. I do a standard soul with my right foot. Or, no, damn, I don't even know. I do a standard soul with my left foot. And I do like an acid soul with my right foot. Or if I go alley-oop, I do an alley-oop soul with my right foot.
I don't feel like you're a good example, though. I feel like you just learn tricks with weird feet. You can't... yeah, I mean, you have to compare it to a soul to a soul. You soul with your right foot or you soul with your left foot. You can't be, okay, I just happen to use different feet for different tricks. It has to be the same trick.
Correct. So that's where it all becomes convoluted. So in the whole debate with the Billy was talking about, it all came down to playing a game of skate. So if I'm playing a game of skate and I do a soul, okay, and you know that this is my soul, and then I go up and I'm like, oh, switch alley-oop soul. Now, if you don't know me and you don't know my skating, and I do an alley-oop soul, that's natural for me, but I could easily call it switch because of this, you know,
weird dexterity.
The weird dexterity. Correct. So, like back when we would skate when we were younger, and I would do like a true top porn, that was switch for me, quote unquote switch, because I do top souls with my left foot, but I do a true top porn with my right foot.
But see, I don't think for you can call that switch.
I can't call it switch, but I could get away with calling it switch.
You can get away with it, but it's not, because you just happen to learn tricks with different feet for some reason.
Because of how you spin.
I still don't see how, because of how you spin, would dictate which foot you used for which trick.
I'm not saying it does. What I'm saying is the term switch is limiting. So if you were to say, and I think it's better to actually say, if you were to say, I can do a right foot soul, I need to do better at my left foot soul. And I can soul both ways. You know, yes, I can. Hold on, skateboarders don't have debates like this with their tricks. We're way more complicated. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, rollerblading is stupid. rollerblading terminology is awful. It was created by a bunch of teenagers that were just stupid.
Well, in skateboarders, you're doing the same trick. The only difference is if you're facing one direction or the not, it's the same trick though.
Correct. And so their stance is switch. So when they're doing, like, in skateboarding, you can. I'm sorry to say, but I agree with your friend in this debate.
Me? You agree with me?
You agree with Josh or me?
It's a vote for me. One's for Josh.
And that's fine. Disagree with me. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that I think that the term switch, they agree with Josh. That's fine.
Thanks, Chili.
I think that the term switch or the term unnatural, I like unnatural more than I like switch. I think switch is.
I would like unnatural. I would say okay, going off like the Clark terminology, if you should be able to do a trick with both feet, I would like to use unnatural versus natural versus a switch. You should be able to do the trick both ways regardless with either foot, but one you're going to be prone to, so you call the other one your unnatural. My unnatural foot. I can do it, but it's my foot I would rather not do it if I didn't have to.
So, and I think that's kind of.
I think I won this.
you might.
Ding, 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 ding.
No, I'm not saying. Okay.
2, 3, 4. You're done.
All right. Anyway,
you just learned tricks weird. Okay, let's talk about how did it come about that you learned these tricks with the different feet? Because I still don't understand the idea of you learned it because of how you spin. Because then wouldn't you just learn it all with that one foot, the direction you're prone to spin? Because that's how I learned. So I use my right foot because I'm prone to spin to the left.
If you're spinning to the left, then why do you do it with your right foot?
I get on the thing and then I spin out. I spin outwards.
Hold on,
So maybe that's another thing.
This is shaking in these DC streets, and I can't read the
Sorry.
I can't read the live chat. No, come back here. I lost the live chat.
I cannot. Hopefully, we're gonna hit a highway here.
Okay, I really like Billy's opinion about it. Basically, taking all the skateboard names out of blading, like switch and cabs. I totally agree with that. I think that I love certain terminology that rollerblading uses. However, I personally despise the naming of our tricks. I hate that every trick variation has a different name. Like sweat stance, kind grind. It's a Mizu. It's a Mizu. It's a topside Mizu or an alley-oop topside Mizu. I hate that alley-oop Unity and Savannah thing. It's maddening that people can't get on board and agree. Where are you going?
Well,
Are we lost?
I'm trying to get out of DC.
You should stop trying to win debates and focus on driving.
Oh, I won. I won.
But so yeah, the naming of like someone you should have back far the same way you backside, but I back far the opposite of my backside because I back torque that way. If that makes sense.
I can see that.
Well, that makes sense.
I get that.
But like, so I guess it kind of comes down to you can also think about it this way. Do you back torque the same way or back farv? Do you back farv the same way that you back royale? Like on the same side, you just kind of like roll your feet over this way and go this way versus going that way? Or do you keep your feet the same position and then your back farv would be this way and your back farv would be that way? What spot we skating this morning? I don't know. That might have been another conversation. We were at Shaw. So yeah, most people I think just kind of roll their feet over to the opposite side when they're doing farves or royales, right? Like, or do you? I know you don't, but do you think people actually do like royales, like where their feet will be like this, but they also farve it's like this as well, to where they're just bending their knee bends that way, so they're ambidextrous with their spins?
I feel like whichever side they backside with is the side that they're gonna do either that back royale or a back farv. In my mind,
I agree with that, and I think that's all based off of the way you spin. So to better understand why I learned it different ways. So my soul grind, when I go into a soul, I come up like this, and then my body kind of turns in this way when that foot comes over, and I go forward on that soul. So my body is turning to the left. Well, if I'm doing a Mizu, my hips are opening to the left. Okay? I back royale with obstacles on the left side and back farv with obstacles on the right. It seems. And I'm right foot dominant. I feel your pain, dude.
I mean, I'm right foot dominant, so I backside on I'll turn towards the left on all of my tricks to get up on something backside. because I don't spin to the right, so it's uncomfortable for me to get onto something backside spinning that way. So I've learned everything spinning to the left.
So when you do, so I know that we've played little games of skate where we'll do like switch, like I'll do a switch Mizu because I can kind of do switch Mizus or I can kind of do switch soles.
Right.
And you have a lot of difficulty with that. Why?
Because I'm not as comfortable having all that weight on that particular on my left foot.
So like is it because of the foot or is it because of the spin?
It has nothing to do with the spin. It's the weight on that particular foot. Like I can do a unnatural sole, but I feel like most of my weight's on my front foot because that's my dominant weight bearing foot. Now I've learned to make it work, and I'm not accurate with those unnatural soles, but I can do them. But that doesn't have anything to do with jumping. It's just the comfort level with the weight bearing leg.
See, I'm different. Like for me, I don't care which foot I'm standing on. I could stand on my left foot just as long as I stand on my right foot.
And maybe it's even more than just the weight. Maybe it's the flexibility and movement to get into the correct position with that side, my legs and my hips on that side of my body, because I'm so used to doing it the other way, and I wasn't in that predicament where I needed to try to learn both ways. Most of the obstacles were on the one side that I normally grind on, so I never really had, like at Leesburg when we had that ledge that we would always skate. If we had another one on the other side, we probably would have done stuff on both sides.
No, I agree with that. I think a lot of it, and that's kind of what I was thinking earlier, is that with certain tricks. So I learned all my basic tricks when I was, a teenager learning how to skate, and then I kind of quit skating midway through high school, and then met you and was skating in the park a lot, and then the ledge at the park was on the opposite side of everything that I learned. Right. So I had to learn everything over there.
Right.
And that definitely became my dominant side. Like I was doing, switch royales, and those have always been switch for me.
Right. Yeah, so for me... So
DR says it's all about his foot for him.
It's all about his foot.
Yeah. See, for me, it's not about my feet. It's all about the direction that I'm turning. But what's funny is that loses everything for unities. I do unities turning to the right.
Which is that the way you spin naturally or no?
No. I turn to the right, and I do them almost like I would do a switch royale.
See, because I still prone to the same way spinning for unities.
So we need visual aids,
right? I feel like for me, learning it one way versus the other really came down to what we had as far as obstacles to work on practice on. We had a bunch of stuff on the right. We had the pyramid that you could come at it obviously from either way. I just feel like I wasn't like, okay, the only ledge we have is on this side, so you should probably learn it on that side. I was just always able to do everything on the right.
So I don't know, it's so weird because I think a lot of it, I guess I understand what you're saying. So like take Matt for example. When Matt and I were skating back in like 96, we both had the rollerblade. I had the box cars. I think he had the chocolates, and he would do royales the same way that I do them. He would do them with his left foot being in the back. So that was he did them going that way. But he was forced to learn to do them the other way, which became his natural because he wore through the boot of his skate and couldn't skate anymore. He had worn through the boot and the liner, so he was grinding his foot. So he was like, I can't do this anymore. So he had to learn them. He had to learn them the other direction, and that stuck with him for the rest of skating. Now that was his natural.
But see, like tricks like that, I can do a royale.
What did he say? Sorry.
I can do a backside royale both ways, but I prefer
I should
not
give
to
you
do
some
it
left foot, right foot switch ups to try district, dude. I'm happy to try anything. I want to start doing more live streams, so I might start live streaming some sessions and definitely call out some tricks because I have not been progressing because I'm being a little bitch. But that's neither. That's not. You shut your mouth. But
I said nothing.
y'all have skated with Chris Fail. Me and him are identical at everything as far as dominant feet and everything. Yeah, we love Chris. Chris came to us with was with us at the Crowder comp, and that was a blast. Definitely miss having Chris around. We had a laughing fit session at the Balance Warehouse. It was so much fun. I was jealous Josh got to go down and visit it down there. If you skate with D-Harp, did you meet D-Harp?
Yeah, I met David. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I don't know.
I met him at Capcom.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Briefly. We were watching the pros. We were on the sidelines going, ooh.
As they say in Russia, don't be a biatch.
Be the machine.
Yeah. Skate grinds you. But any other hot takes? I feel like that one kind of got beat to death.
Well, and that's the other thing. I feel like we're dwelling on not stupid stuff.
Him and
but
his
like the
cheating
wrong
rough tricks.
stuff. Oh, Fail does so many rough grinds.
Yeah, he does. He's got some sweet rough switch ups though.
He does have some good. He's got a good.
Well, what did he do? He did like a back. It was like a. What was it? It was like a.
This is like back towards.
Was it like a tabernacle to, or like a bin sole to rough Mizu or something? I feel like
There was something he did. I'm like, I don't even know what that was, dude. What was that?
yeah, that was.
He switches it so fast. You're like,
Yeah,
wait,
right.
wait. I think Ben on iRollerBoot actually was watching his videos and like had
Back
to pause it. And,
back
like,
Unity
slow
to
it.
rough Miz. Back Unity. That's sick. That's sick. Yeah. No, I think I got that. I think I got that on the clip when one of the Crowder videos.
And that was before he was on the faction. So now he's got that huge back, that huge
Dude.
back sole.
So I don't generally do rough grinds.
I need to learn them.
I was able to do them like a couple years ago, but I haven't tried them in a while, and my hip flexors are really weak right now. But whatever excuse I want to give today, Ben did it. Pause. It was like, what was that? Yeah, I remember that. But no, I put my foot in a rough position on these new faction plates, and I was like, oh, I'm not. It's like scary to think about trying.
Why?
It just feels like it's going to slip out on the new plates.
Oh, on the new
On
ones,
the new
yeah.
plates.
Oh, well, yeah. You don't have that flat. You don't have that wide flat back wing to
Right.
keep you on. I need to learn this. I don't think I've ever done one.
The last one I did was a tea kettle, which is like a rough porn star.
So back foot is
Turned
in
in.
the P star position,
Yeah,
and then
the
rough.
front foot is.
That sounds like it would be hard.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
It's almost like doing a tabernacle.
It's not. I mean, it's not. I mean, you suck at porn stars, so you have a lot of trouble with that. So, FYI, Chris's weakness is top soles. Nice. I want to play Josh in a game of skate, but he's progressing. And it's getting annoying. We used to be neck and neck. We'll live stream a skate session one of these days with.
We have to. I need to watch Jump Street's rules of skate again.
I know,
just to make
right?
sure that
We'll have to go over the
following
rules. We'll have to go over the rules first.
The correct words.
So, does anybody in the chat have any hot takes? This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come out with you next time Chris comes. Hell yeah. D-Harp, you come up to Crowder next year. I know that we're definitely going to be going back again.
Yep.
We'll have to get a bigger house this time. Next time.
What's wrong with the house we got?
Well, I don't know. We get more people.
Oh. I don't know. I feel like we had enough people.
Yeah, maybe. I want that castle house. That place was cool.
Yeah. I'd like to actually be able to skate at Crowder because we had to leave because of the rain when they pushed it back.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh well. All right. Well, we're at 24 minutes. We're about done with the drive. I just wanted to kind of debate with Josh, but I'm not. I don't think I'm done with my debate. I'm going to come up with better talking points. I'll take.
Did I debunk whatever you were?
No, you
bringing
didn't
up?
debunk anything.
But you get what I'm saying, though, right?
I get what you're saying. Yes, you're more comfortable on one side than you are on another, but it shouldn't. And I think this is my biggest thing. It shouldn't be for each and every trick. Each and every trick shouldn't be switch or natural or unnatural. You should have like that, and I think that's elite. And I guess it's just because I'm so all over the place. But the thing is, I know that I'm not the only one that's all over the place. It should be, if you go to Clark's and you play a game of skate with Clark.
God. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never played Clark in a
You,
game
no,
of
you.
skate.
If you were to go over to Clark's and play anybody in skate with Clark's rules,
Yeah.
it would be match foot.
Correct.
Okay?
Yep.
Which means switch doesn't even apply.
Correct. There's no switch.
There is
Whatever
no
direction
switch.
you're going, you got better do it that way.
Correct. So that is the way that I think, that's the way I would like to play skate. Do you want to play a match foot game of skate?
A match foot.
Game of skate. I almost think I could take you a match foot.
You probably could with your random ass. I do this trick with this foot and I this trick with that foot. Probably. You probably have enough tricks that would be unnatural for me on that obstacle that you probably might get me. Especially, yeah. I mean, because even your top sole would be an unnatural top sole for me. So that's a letter right there. Now the Mizu's and soles, I can do those, so I'm not worried about that.
But I can do Royales both ways too.
I can as well.
No, last time we played, you were in Aeons.
Dude, I'm everything's open now. The book is open.
What do we want to play on? What was that? I missed that. What was that say? The live chat, I approve of and endorse this. Love that. Yeah, we don't like letters.
We can play on my box.
I don't want to play on your box. It's your box.
Okay. Do you have a box?
No.
So the thing is, I would rather be on a circular coping obstacle than flat edge. But I mean, if I had to do it on a 90-degree ledge, I'd do it.
We could play at Clark's.
I would love to play.
But we can't. We can't.
On what though? The long box? Long box?
So the low box?
The low one or the high one? Or the down ledges? Not the tall ones. The one over in the
mutual location of discomfort. I love that.
That's the problem. I can get comfortable.
Yeah, you do.
We could do Clark's the low box.
The low box?
Yeah, where the A-frame one is.
Okay.
I'd be down to do it on that one.
How high is that?
I mean, it's not that high.
I feel like it's not high enough, and then the other one's too high. Or at least the problem with I don't know. I like the little one just because the length I think is perfect for a game of skate.
What about his box in the middle, the freestanding one? That one's like in between the big one and the other one.
What if? Hold on. Most unnatural tricks are scary until the second try. That's true. What if? Oh, damn it! Why don't this chat just like stay up? What if we decide on cabs? Was it just fakie, whatever, like for cab would be fakie 360? Yeah, I think just say fakie 3 or like fakie.
I feel like that's a pretty easy transition to getting away from the cab.
But it also, I could easily stop saying cab. But I think that if you're doing like a fakie 180, so are you doing in spin or out spin? Or if you're coming at a fakie, so if you're going fakie in spin sole versus fakie out spin sole, those are completely different terms. But if you were to try to explain skating to somebody, and you were to say, I'm going to do a fakie 360 in spin sole. It's just not even. That would be like a fakie. If you were to fakie 3, that would almost be like an alley-oop sole, but your alley-oop's only a 180. Okay, now I'm getting confused. Does it?
I mean, sometimes rollerblading is confusing.
It's stupid. It's so stupid.
But I think because there's it's the same thing with skateboarding. I mean, you could outspin or in-spin skateboard, right?
So they have front side or back side spins. So a cab is a fakey backside 180, I believe. In skateboarding.
I don't spin to win, so I don't even know. I would love to be able to spin to win. I want to be like Cam. He can spin in and out of anything in both ways. I love it.
See, that's man, it's so convoluted. It's so annoying. Like if you go to a skateboarder and a skateboarder just describes a trick to another skateboarder and just says, I don't know, I can't think of anything because I don't know skateboard terms, but they will understand what the other person is saying. Whereas if I say to one person that I did a Savannah, and then I say to another person that I did a Savannah, both will be wrong.
Won't one at least be right?
No, because I'll say it to the wrong people. So, if you go to Clark and you say you do a Savannah, what is that trick?
Okay, so the other day I did
No. What is a Savannah?
In my mind, or what I've been told, now once again, I don't care. Your feet is in a unity position in my head.
Thank you.
So, a Savannah, I've been told, is when you're doing a unity traveling backwards versus forwards.
Wrong.
That's what I've been told. The trick okay, so what I was saying is, at Clark's, he taught me what he called a true spin backside unity.
Correct.
But I'm traveling backwards. So why is it not Savannah? Now, I'm going to go off of what he said because he taught me how to do it. It's his trick. He gave it to me. I'm going to call it a true spin backside unity. But with everything else that I've heard about you traveling backwards doing a Savannah versus forwards, and it's a unity.
So the first time Savannah was ever used, okay, the first time that the term Savannah was ever used was used to describe a 270 backside alley-oop unity. Because 270 backside alley-oop unity is a lot to say, and rollerbladers are pretty lazy. So they said it's a Savannah.
So my 270 backside unity
is a Savannah. Yes. The first time you ever did it, you were like, oh, it's a Savannah. It's like when you're doing an alley-oop top horn, but you just turn that extra foot a little bit, and that's a 270 backside alley-oop unity. And this is triggering a lot of people, I'm sure of it.
I don't know why.
I mean, so here's where I think it's what's difficult. If you were to say, if one rollerblader was to say to another rollerblader, it doesn't really matter. If you were to say, I did a Savannah, and you just did an alley-oop unity, people would just go, okay, whatever, and they move on. And maybe there's a little bit of debate on it. But if you were to go to somebody who doesn't know anything about rollerblading, who's just learning, and you were to show them what your feet look like in Unity, and you were to go, this is a Unity, and then you were to go, that person would think in their head, oh, that's also a Unity, but you're just going backwards. So the term alley-oop was used to describe it because you're traveling against your natural motion. You know, because you go up in a ramp, you spin alley-oop, it's when you're traveling backwards.
Oh, and it was switch. Call it switch.
I'm fucking done.
You call it switch because it's not my normal crisscross. Let's just call it crisscross applesauce.
I love that.
Just crisscross applesauce. We're changing all the other name. P-Star.
Star grind.
Let's just call it crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross.
Forwards, backwards.
I like that. Crisscross.
270 crisscross.
And then the X grind.
Backside crisscross.
Well, everybody wants it to be called an X grind.
I mean, that makes more sense than an actual X grind. An X grind is not an X grind. A Unity is an X grind. Because you're making that X with your legs.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But what's an X grind?
Let's just agree that whoever named these tricks were just a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And they ruined.
They
set us up for failure.
They probably didn't think it was going to take, and it took. And now they're like, damn it. Like,
How did they not think it was going to take?
I don't know. Like, I could see someone somewhere in a little town did this trick, and he's like, oh, it's a blah blah blah, and then for whatever reason somehow it got around and be like, oh yeah, I've never seen that. Yeah, it's a blah blah blah.
See, I want to know. They were stupid high making our tricks. Yeah, they really were. Fish brain. Fish brain is all you need to hear. And I think that it, because I don't remember who did the first fish brain, but they named it because his nickname was Fish Brain because he was high all the time. That's my understanding.
He had a fish brain, literally.
Yeah, like that's kind of how they describe it.
His nickname was Fish. He just had it.
No, it's not Fish. Fish is Billy O'Neill.
No.
It was somebody else. Was it Mike French? No. I don't remember. Roy Fish or something was his name, but they called him Fish Brain because he was high all the time or something. I don't know. There's too much lore in rollerblading, and nobody knows what's canon and what's not.
Right?
His last name is Fish. Yeah, but why'd they call him Fish Brain? Maybe, I don't know. There's something to do with that. But anyway.
When you eat it, you get fish brain.
I guess. But so I want to know, modern hippies, yeah, for real. I want to know who the first a-hole was to call a trick a different name. So when we were all creating tricks and there was like one version of each trick, okay? So when you did a Mizu, it was a Mizu. Yeah, Fish Brain, I thought it was Tom Fry as well. Or Mike, I think I said Mike French before, but I thought it was Tom Fry. When you do a Mizu, okay, if you do a soul, and then you do a top soul, top soul, okay? If you do a Mizu, and you go topside, it should be called a top Miz.
But then you get into kind grinds and all that other stuff. Same foot position, just different direction of travel.
What? I wasn't listening. I was trying to read the chat.
So you said, okay, Mizu, topside is called a sweat stance. But then you start getting into, okay, well, if you're traveling backwards,
it's a kind grind. Right. So that's so dumb.
And if you're not topside, that's alley-oop Mizu. Why? So basically the same foot position has, what, 4 different names?
And probably more than that.
Probably. Yeah,
and then if you turn one little foot, it becomes a mistrial.
I think the issue comes because these tricks were invented, even though they're a similar foot position, the tricks were invented by completely different people. If it was the same person that was just going through and doing all these tricks, there probably might be a little bit more continuity between the names.
Well, I think the problem is that we allowed everybody to just name it whoever did it first, which is stupid because it's like first sweat stance, I guarantee you, had been done 1,000 times before on rails, and they called it far side because there was no such thing as top side, because that was a big deal back. Dark side, if it's so. We're discussing it, but I'm seething at some of the crap he's saying. No, they said they like how to discuss it calmly.
Yeah.
I have to be civil because he's taking me home.
Yeah.
I don't want him kicking me out of the car.
Well, also, I think you care a lot more than I do. I'll just do the trick and like whoever wants to call it whatever, like, hey, that was a cool blah blah. I'm like, hey, thanks, bro.
I hate that. I hate that about you sometimes.
I just want to do the tricks.
I know you just want to do the tricks.
And you guys call them whatever you want.
And you're like, yeah, I did that.
Like, was that
I did that.
Oh, it was cool?
It was cool. Thanks. I love
awesome.
it. I'm so good that I don't care what I'm doing, just that I'm doing it.
True spin, backside, unity, switch. Love that. That's
yeah.
such a long
So
one.
okay, so coming back to this, so with like a soul grind, if you do an alley-oop soul, they let DR likes your outlook. Yeah, I hate him. You skate with him enough then it gets to the point where you're just watching him do stuff that he doesn't know what he's doing. It's infuriating. It's fucking infuriating.
That's why I have you around. I'm like, so what was that?
Exactly. He does that. He's like, oh, that was cool. And it is a Royale, a top side, front side.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mean, you're not kind of, I suppose, but then, but is a Farfignugan, fuck that name. Is a Favre a torqued Royale? So, because everything has gotten so muddled,
or an opposite Royale.
you can't really just, you can't go with it. It's so annoying. But as I'm saying, like we have tricks that make sense. So like if you do a sole and you put your front foot forward like a torque, it's a torque sole. Thank you. If you do a alley-oop sole, but you bend that Royale back, it's called a Soyale, which is like Sole Royale. That makes sense. If you have an acid grind or a star grind, they make sense. And if you do an alley-oop top acid, that makes sense. If you do an alley-oop top star, that makes sense. But why kind grind? Why sweat stance? I just wish everybody would get on board with being that's a top miz, alley-oop top miz, true top miz. So that at least we can have a little bit of continuity and start going down the right path. But until everybody starts doing that, and that's the problem. Some people get so triggered off of names because, some people are deciding to change the name of porn star to Star Grind to be a little bit more accepting through everyday conversations. I don't want to tell my son who's learning a new trick. I'm like, oh yeah, do a porn star, buddy. He's 10. He's 10. I don't want to tell him to do a porn star.
Or my daughter, I'm like, hey, do that.
Yeah. No, it's a star grind. Your feet look like they're in a star pattern. That's fine. Who cares? Move on. But no, some people, that is offensive. Like, no, it's a porn star. Then who cares? Yeah, they must have been smoking kind bud when they were, I think, I'm not even joking. I think that's where it came from. I vaguely remember that is right. That's why they call it a kind grind. Fucking stupid. I get triggered by this stuff, but I get triggered because there's so many variations, and it's because of that we have things like Savannah, where we named it because it was easier to say. Hold on, that's when you say no, it's not a porn star. Wait, what? Damn it, I hate this. That's when you say no, it's not a porn star. I'll show you one up the road. Oh. Stupid.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. Anyway, I don't know. I want to hear what people think. I really, really, really wish X Grind versus Unity. Yeah, for real. Like I can get Unity, because everything, you're bringing your legs kind of together, I suppose. I mean, X Grind would have been better. Had they named it X Grind, that would have been better. But I think, and I'm not certain of this, but I think that the X Grind, kind of late to put the toothpaste back in the lube, in the tube. Yeah, no, for real, it's definitely too late. But I don't know. It just makes me angry.
It's called X Grinds train tracks.
So X Grinds came before Unity's. The X Grind was done first because you jumped onto a rail and your feet went. God damn it, my feet can't do it. My hands can't do it. What an X Grind does. So yeah, okay. So yeah, you did like this, and it wasn't X. Your soles crossed like an X on a rail. That was done long before any Unity, so they called that an X Grind. And then later down the road, people start making Unities, and they're like, oh well, we already used X Grind,
right?
So it's a Unity. What's the back foot X grind called? I hate that one so much. What, where your back foot's a top side, or when you're? So I do my when I do an X grind, I do them always on ledges, and my back foot is in the top side position, and that's my warm up trick to do. That's my warm up trick to do top soles. I am not good at doing them the other way because it feels like I'm doing should X with sole in the back, top side, front be different the other way. So I've always called them like a regular X grind is when you have a regular X grind is when you have your sole foot is in the back and then your front foot is top side. And then the other way, I just call it a top X. Because your grounded foot is top side. Does that make sense?
Sort of, but so I'm weird with my X grinds because if I'm traveling forward, my top side foot is in the back.
Really?
If I'm traveling forward, top side foot is in the back. If I'm doing an alley-oop, top side is on the front.
The back foot top side is definitely different. That was why it's nice people called it now. I hate it because I can't do that. That's a good reason to hate a trick.
So I've got weird.
I hate pud slides for that same reason.
Right. So I'm like Chris said, I'm weird. So if I'm going forward, my top side foot is in the back. If I'm going backwards alley-oop, my top side foot is in front.
I do it that same way. I'm the same way.
Okay, so
I'm actually the same way.
That.
But you would do like an acid sole on the same side, right? So like you acid sole with your right foot.
Right foot is the
sole foot.
Left foot.
So if you were to do an X grind, you would, instead of doing an acid, Jesus, that guy just tried to kill us. You would just put your foot over and put it into an X grind. You'd still be doing, it's like doing an acid, you just turn your foot a little bit different.
So the reason I feel more comfortable having that topside foot in the back, because an acid is all the way turned, but I feel uncomfortable turning it the opposite way to get topside.
Jay says, doing an alley-oop topside trailing is easy. Oh, man, this thing's stupid. Sorry guys, my the live chat doesn't stay on my screen. I gotta figure that out. Doing alley-oop topside trailing is way easier and vice versa going forward. Weird. Yeah, I guess top X would be accurate for me. So I think of when doing an alley-oop X and my trailing foot is topside, to me it's a lot like doing a alley-oop top Miz. And you know, when you're doing a con grind, whatever. When you're doing a con grind, you're basically doing a front side. You're just kind of turning your foot a little bit, and it becomes a con grind. So that's kind of why con grinds are pretty easy, so, at least for me. When doing an alley-oop X, I do them almost like I do an alley-oop, like a soyal, but I just turn that foot a little bit, and it becomes an X grind.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But either way, we're basically back to Josh's, and we're going to be swapping out cars. I started doing them naturally, learning Bassett, but the back foot would just go topside every time. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. But either way, so I always like just reading this thing. Yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this later and you want to comment on anything that we talked about, please do it in the comments. I would love to continue this debate, and we can have a part 2. This is kind of fun. We should do this more often.
I like it. Yeah. Since our drives are at least an hour long, might as well. So anyway, thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun, and we will catch you later.
Peace.
Bye.